Hey everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge. This is Peruse, episode number 42. Again, we got the pups here with me. Well, got my little baby girl in the back car with me, with my little baby boy, as we drive out of the east side of town and onto the west side of town, boys and girls. And if you have noticed, I am very chippy. I'm feeling very perky this morning. It's because my football club, Arsenal FC, is going to our Europa League final. This is our first European final in 13 years now. For those of you who don't watch English soccer, European soccer, let me go ahead and just simplify this explanation for you. So, in Europe, majority of soccer leagues have domestic leagues, which is pretty much like the regular season, more or less. But at the end of it, you do get a domestic title based on your placement in the league first, and you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's another competition wherein if you place in certain spots in the Premier League, your domestic competition, you will be qualified into these European competitions. Now, there's two European competitions, the Champions League and the Europa League. The Champions League is the better brand, more marketability, more recognition, more revenue going into the Champions League relative to the Europa League, which I can argue really they make what, like 25 times less the productivity and the marketing availability compared to the Champions League. So, with that being said, Arsenal has not been to a European final since the Champions League final in 2006, where we lost horribly to FC Barcelona, aka FC Refalona. Fuck you, Barcelona. And for Arsenal right now, we're going back to our Europa League. We're going back to a European final. We're going to be going against Chelsea, our London rivals, our dreaded cunts to the west. Truly fucking hate Chelsea. Really want Arsenal to do well this time around. And so it is going to be a curious matchup. It is going to be a really curious matchup. Obviously, in the Champions League side, we have Liverpool and Tottenham, which is a headache to talk about already. I fucking hate the fact that Tottenham is in a Champions League final, whereas Arsenal is in the Europa League final. So, worst case scenario, Arsenal loses and Tottenham wins. That is absolutely the worst case scenario. I've already played that in my head, like Doctor Strange, 14 million fucking times. I forgot to signal from this fucking side again. But anyways, you know, I'm always the person. I'm always gonna think, you know, a couple steps ahead, a couple of plans ahead, you know, a couple of contingency plans just to see what the hell's gonna happen. So, I'm looking at the situation and thinking, all right, best of both worlds would be if Liverpool wins the Champions League, if Arsenal wins the Europa League. That is seriously the best of both worlds. Obviously, you know, as Arsenal fans, we really don't want Tottenham to win. And I see a dead dog or cat on the road, which is pretty disgusting. So I'm gonna, yeah, that is a dead dog in the middle of the road. That is fucking depressing. But yeah, way to start the morning with a dead dog while I got two beautiful live dogs in the back here. That dog was like dead in the middle of the road. I'm pretty sure it might have been a cat. But, oh my god, that is a morbid scene to just start the morning there. Oh my god. Woof. Or meow. Too soon? No, it's roadside killing. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Right, babies? Puppies? So, as an Arsenal fan, you know, getting into a final is exhilarating, but at the same time, the prospect and the optics of this matchup and the potential result that could happen, potential results that can happen, it's nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie. It only just exacerbates the problem if we lose, right? And so I'm really hoping, as an Arsenal fan, just let's get the win. I would love to see Arsenal lift the cup, you know, in my lifetime. I mean, just I don't know, man. If I see Arsenal lift a European title, I might freak out. I'll be at a bar that morning, 4 a.m. for the match, and I won't promise anything, but I'm just saying, if we lose, I'm gonna be fucking miserable for a long, long time. And on top of that, a couple days later, if Tottenham wins, I'm not really gonna watch football for a long time. Like I will be absolutely just downtrodden. I'm gonna be looking at myself and thinking, oh my god, this is the absolute fucking worst thing ever. But again, we don't know what the hell's gonna happen. It's still a couple weeks away. Europa League is going to be on May 29th, whereas Champions League is going to be on June 1st, so a couple days split apart. Boy, oh boy. It's going to be a madhouse, I'll tell you that shit. It's going to be an absolute madhouse for Arsenal fans everywhere. We haven't been to a European final since 2006, and again, the last time we were in a European final did not bode too well. But we're going to try to figure shit out. Hopefully the Arsenal boys can get a great result out of this really just dreadful fucking matchup. I really don't like Chelsea. And it had to be them, of course. It had to be Petr Cech's, potentially last game against, of course, his former club that he spent a majority of his time at. So a lot of great narratives for this Europa League finals, which I am very excited about. But yeah, it's going to be intense. Whereas domestically for the Arsenal Football Club, it has been an absolute joke. Our domestic run has been nothing short of diarrhea-ridden. There's really nothing positive to say about the whole scenario with the domestic league. We have been pretty terrible. I mean, absolutely fucking terrible. And for us to get any results along the way has been a miracle. And yeah, we blew the top 4 placement opportunity, and that's on us. That is absolutely on us. But Arsenal football has got me really excited, of course. Anytime you get to go to a final, it's exhilarating. I mean, even last year when we went to the League Cup final and lost tremendously. I mean, we lost in horrendous fashion, 3-0 against Manchester City. I still remember that cup final because it hurt like hell. I watched it at a pub, which made it even worse. It's like there's no fucking City fans. There's no goddamn City fans. We're the only Arsenal fans are only sitting there like, what the fuck are we doing here? Why are we even here? But this feels different. I don't know about you guys. For me, it just feels different this time around. Maybe it's the stupid optimism in me. I don't know. I'm really hoping this time, though, something good happens for Arsenal. Something great hopefully happens for Arsenal this time around. But again, the ever optimist. The ever optimist. And again, we talked about this yesterday, right? Arsenal is the one club that has taught me a lot of life lessons about sports. So, don't be surprised if I'm not surprised that we lose, or don't be surprised if I lose my fucking mind if we win. It's nerve-wracking. I mean, it's a couple weeks away. It's the 10th right now. We're still 19 days away from the final. We are still 19 days away from the final. Technically 18 days and a couple hours away, but it's still nearly 3 weeks away. I am way too nervous about it, and at the same time, very excited. Very excited. Again, we're going to a cup final. That's huge, man. We haven't been to a European Cup final in years. It's gonna be a great fucking energy from every Arsenal fans, and I'm telling you right now, if I go to the pub, which I will, 4 a.m. in the morning, that day I'm taking my Arsenal flag. I'm taking everything that is Arsenal with me, man. That is a bona fide guarantee, my friend. I'll be repping Arsenal all fucking day that day. Even if we lose. That's the importance of being a fan, okay? Because losing sucks. Yes, it does. Losing always sucks. But you have to get behind your team after losing. That is also the bottom line, and the philosophy I really do live by with sports. You got to support your team no matter what, buddy. All right, you can criticize your team all day, every day. Yes, I do that with a lot of my teams that are in shit predicaments right now, like the Lakers. However, I'm still going to get behind them. I'm still going to be rocking their jersey. You know how I do, boys and girls. I'm not going to be a fucking fair weather fan. I like trekking through the tough weathers, man. That's how real relationship is bred and, worked and built, okay? It's not easy fucking money that you get, willy-nilly. That's life isn't always like fucking cookies and rainbows and shit, bro. Alright, that's all I'm trying to say. This is gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man. Very excited, though. Very excited about the Cup final. And it is gonna be some shit. It is gonna be some shit. And I'm watching all these other playoff games right now. Obviously, I'm watching the NHL playoffs. Eastern Conference Final began yesterday. Puck dropped between the Boston Bruins and the Carolina Hurricanes, and my little puppies need a little attention here, so I'm going to go ahead and give that to them. But that final, Eastern Conference Final, is going to be a doozy. I think it's going to be a long series. My buddy said Boston's going to win in a sweep. I don't know, man. I think we're going to have a very different game from what I'm comparing in my head. I think the Carolina Hurricanes can really bounce back, game 2 after losing 5-2 last night. A lot of piss poor goals that was given away in the third period. Very close game, however, between the two teams. And Carolina just has something with them. They just have this vibe about them. And that's the same kind of vibe I feel with St. Louis. And yes, does my San Jose hatred and bias kick in? Absolutely. I still think Martin Jones is playing way over his head. He's not as good as, most people would think. I really think he's playing way over his head. Do I think their defensemen are decent enough? Absolutely. I think San Jose has a really decent defensive core. But again, they're very liable in turning over the puck, and I've seen that way too many times in each of the rounds they faced. And yeah, you can say Vegas, blah 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 blah, but look at the games objectively. Look at the fact of the matter of how Carlson and Burns actually mismanages the puck majority of times when they're handling it. So that's all I'm saying. And St. Louis can absolutely capitalize on mistakes like that. Their depth is unbelievable. Their defensive core is nuts. And Jordan Binnington, no one's talking about this kid enough. No one is talking about Jordan Binnington enough in St. Louis. And I believe this is the kid. This is the goaltender that's going to really carry this team forward. And don't be fucking surprised if Jordan Binnington steals a game or two away from San Jose. Don't be fucking surprised if Jordan Binnington's the guy who does it, because this kid is absolute talent. And I can definitely see a St. Louis versus Carolina Hurricanes Stanley Cup final. Personally, that's what I want. That's truly what I want. But simultaneously, do we know if that's going to happen? No. The Stanley Cup playoffs is a doozy. Anything could fucking happen. A lot of crazy shit has happened so far in a lot of these matchups. So we're going to just get to witness firsthand what's going to actually happen. And, suffice it to say, we're going to see a lot of fun results. That's what I believe. And right now in the NBA, I blew $20. I'm not going to lie, boys and girls. I blew $20 last night. And it's mainly because I put money on the wrong fucking teams. I thought Denver was going to close out the series at 3-2 away to Portland. I also thought Toronto was going to be able to kill off the series at 3-2 as well against the Philadelphia 76ers away. But they both lost my parlay, only $20. And yeah, it sucks. Losing money sucks, but at the same time, it happens. And so I'm looking at that series, all three of those series that's remaining right now. Is it 3? Yeah, because Milwaukee beat the Celtics in 5 games, so Milwaukee gets the rest up nice and easy. You got the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors are going to be playing tonight, Game 6. I'm pretty sure the Rockets will have something to say about that, despite the fact that, yes, KD KD is not there, I still think the Warriors will make a very clear case that they are miles better than every team in the NBA and probably win tonight. I know Denver, Portland is on Sunday, Philadelphia, Toronto's on Sunday. That's going to be a bit of a crazy matchup. Game 7s for both teams, for all 4 teams actually. And, Game 7s can go either way. I really think Game 7s can go either way. The very fact that we have 2 Game 7s like this right now just tells you how competitive these matchups will be. And the cherry on top will be this. If the Warriors somehow lose to the Houston Rockets in Game 7, and KD is obviously, not in the equation in the finals, this is going to be a wide open final. I have no idea what's going to happen if that happens. Let's say hypothetically the matchup is between the Houston Rockets, the Western Conference is between the Houston Rockets, the Denver Nuggets, right? The Toronto Raptors, who I believe has a very strong case to make it to the Eastern Conference Final, and the Milwaukee Bucks. Boy, oh boy, you are going to have a real fucking wide open matchup, and I don't care who fucking wins at that point. As long as it's not the fucking Warriors. I'm just saying, the Warriors have to die for the NBA to be good again. I'm sorry. Some people like Colin Cowherd may suck the Warriors' dicks off, but that's not me. I'm of the belief that, yeah, empires are great for a while, but when there is this kind of tiresome narrative for 5 straight years, right? And it only made it worse with Kevin Durant in the team. There is no tension. There is no parity in the league. Therefore, there is no real narrative to follow and nor enjoy in the playoffs, especially. You've seen the dip in the numbers on the TV ratings. Minus 19% compared to last year in the NBA playoffs is a massive hit. It's an absolutely massive hit. Now, I will say this with a caveat. I've talked about this with my friends. Do I believe the product has gone down? No. It's because the Warriors have been miles ahead of everybody else. That teams have tanked, and they have really tried to rework their systems. Every team, every fucking team. I don't care who you are. Every fucking team has tried to done this shit. Now, marginally, slowly but surely, marginally, teams are getting better. Yes, the product, therefore, is getting better marginally. We're getting to see some really decent products in the regular season. However, a lot of these teams will make it to the playoffs. They won't mean jack shit. Why? Because the Warriors still have a very firm grasp on this playoff monopoly, so to speak, right? But without Kevin Durant, this is the greatest opportune moment for the Houston Rockets to make a declarative statement to the NBA and say, the Warriors' time is over. It's our time. It's our time to do this. Now, if Houston pulls off and they win the championship because of this, kudos to them. They beat the fucking villains of the NBA. Now they can reap the rewards. However, there's still a Game 6. You have to push them out of Game 6, push them to Game 7, force Game 7, and hopefully Houston can do something in Game 7. But I'm getting ahead of myself. There's still a Game 6. There's still a lot of games to be played. And again, the NBA dynamics is still as such that the Warriors are still the dominant force. They are still the dominant power. They are still the kings in the 7 kingdoms, right? They are the rulers and the lord of the 7 kingdoms. The great protector of Westeros. And in the game of zones, you either die or win. That there's no in between, right? So the Warriors are looking a bit brittle at the moment, but at the same time, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate. Yes, I said KD not being in the Warriors makes the Warriors absolutely vulnerable. However, we do have to put a huge asterisk in that, the fact that the Warriors won 73 regular season games and lost in a Game 7 in the NBA Finals due to very questionable situations and contexts. Obviously, Draymond being, out of that game played a huge factor. Now, was it completely sensible to put him out of the game? That's a toss-up. But again, this is a team that has been able to win without KD, without Kevin Durant. Now, one can argue they don't have as much depth and great pieces and the young age that they once had, the freshness of that 2015-16 squad, even arguably that 2014-15 squad. So, with all that laid out, you know, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows if we still get that same kind of uplift, you know, that the Warriors will, you know, absolutely need to get their shit done, right? But, you never know. Okay, you just never know. Okay, I am gonna just pass you. Oh dear God, I'm sorry. I had to pass you. I feel terrible, but I will pass you nonetheless. I know there's a school bus. I feel like shit, but you know, I barely passed it. But let me just get back to the NBA real quick. Just wrap it up. Again, the remainder of this playoffs is going to be very, very interesting. Tonight, Game 6, Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. I'm dying to see who the fuck comes out of this alive. Obviously, Game 7's on Sunday, the Eastern and Western Conference, to determine the finalists for the Eastern and Western Conference. That's also going to be a great big of a doozy. And you got NHL playoffs. So playoffs is in full swing. You got Seahawks and NFL shit going on, which I want to just cover really quickly before I'm actually home. So I'm just gonna talk about the Seahawks real quick, real fine point here. But yeah, I don't really know much about baseball, so I want to wrap it up with some Seahawks news. Doug Baldwin, camp chancellor, has been officially cut from the Seattle Seahawks after failing their physical, and these guys have been with their team for a number of years, and they are absolute legends to the club. And here's the thing. I love Doug Baldwin. I love Camp Chancellor. I have Camp Chancellor's jersey. Shout out to my boy Joe for giving me the jersey. But it is heartbreaking to see them leave. But at the same time, part of the business of football is cutting your losses. And unfortunately, this is the way it is. But Seattle will never forget the greatness of Doug Baldwin, what he was able to do in that Super Bowl 48, along with Camp Chancellor. Interceptions galore. The man was absolute fire for his entire career. And again, I would not be surprised if 89 and number 31 gets their number retired in that Ring of Honor, along with all the great Seattle Seahawks legends. So, as a Seattle Seahawks fan, Doug Baldwin, Camp Chancellor, I can't thank you enough for making me love the game of football, making me love the Seattle Seahawks organization, and best of luck to you gentlemen in whatever you do in your future endeavors. And yeah, it's unfortunate that we don't get to see them anymore, but again, as Seahawks fans, all we can do is hope for the best in their near future. So, boys and girls, that's about it. My puppies are getting a little anxious, as you can clearly tell with these cats. Well, dogs. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, boys and girls. Follow me at the Sky Lounge, and all links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily content. Puppy.